Jumbo Africa. Well, it's good to be back. The nice one, yeah. I will not say much on what is happening.
Yeah, I was saying you just come back and destroy the pitch already.
But I can't make an African champion. Hey, champion.
Yes.
We are together.
I don't know about
No, we are together.
I don't know about Nigeria.
No, I decided.
I saw the idea.
Yeah,
I saw the idea.
I have to choose. But I said, let me just go to South Africa because I'm a host.
Coach is in trouble because apparently he's traveling the next few days to Nigeria. They are going to arrest him at the airport.
No. Those guys, they were out of order. That team should be disbanded. No, they can't come and play like that.
With your 15-year-old goalkeeper.
No, they're proper. As far as they go to that tournament, they are there on the FIFA book now.
But do you think it's 15?
I don't know. He says 15. His dad is the goalkeeper coach for Enyimba.
Yeah.
His dad,
In fact, at Enyimba, ne?
Yeah, Enyimba Football Club.
Very interesting.
But I don't know where it was going to in that goal, on that goal, man.
Yeah.
Stay on your goal line, But anyway, it happens, It happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes
But you have slept over it. You have accepted.
No. We are champion. We are champion. We are champion.
Oh, South Africa.
We are champion.
Not Niger, South Africa.
Yeah, but it's good to be back.
Welcome back.
Yes. No, I can say, I was enjoying the episodes.
I tried very hard to take your job, but I failed.
He's back on the outside left now,
You need to quality cross, eh?
You need some crosses from there.
No, I inverted.
Okay.
That's good to do stuff.
I'm a modern footballer. No, going back to the days of number 11.
True.
Yeah, but we'll look this weekend. In fact, this week on African Football Connect, we talk the CAF Champions League final. We saw the second leg. In fact, the first leg last week, and now we're going to the second leg. And also, we'll look back at the CAF Confed Cup the final. We've seen, especially with Fadlu, he was trying to, going all out for that gold medal, but Moin Shaban, this guy is young, but already he's done a double. Remember, he had won back-to-back the CAF Champions League title with Esperance. So we'll be looking at that. We'll be discussing Sundowns, where to for Rano Mukwena. Manyana is preparing for the WAFCON. Yes, together with Zo, with Alex Song at the Liga event.
The Indomitable Lion.
The Indomitable Lion.
Yeah.
It's not every day you get a Barca, an Arsenal legend, and it was just cool like that. And also, we will have the Under-17 World Cup draw. And we've got our guest. He's back again. It's a pity because we want to talk to people who are going to the continent. They didn't achieve going to the continent. But he always finds a way of going back to the continent. No matter how he goes back.
No, we go for the proper tournament. Proper tournament. First of all, we sort out this situation at Chile with the 20. We need to, because we want. When you play in Africa, we're not used to, So we now want to go to, the South American there.
You must
fix it that side.
You must come here first and beat us.
No.
And by the way, I'm told, coach, they are preparing this pitch for Nigeria.
I'm telling you.
So when Nigeria come here, there'll be a carpet there. We are going to kill you, Nigeria.
And this is going to be home ground for Nigeria. You know the support. You know the support we get in South Africa. So basically, it's going to be home game for Nigeria. But it's going to be a tough one.
But gents, just to go back to the first legs, so how would you describe it? Because for us who were at the stadium, we were so disappointed because we know in African football the power of having an away goal.
Yeah, I remember a moment just shortly after the referee has blown the final whistle, the Sundowns players the hands were like this, looking at each other, shaking heads. These guys were 10 seconds away from a win.
Yes.
Lapse of concentration. Obviously, now we're speaking with the benefit of hindsight. From the start, I felt maybe the coach somehow got it wrong in terms of his lineup on one or two positions. I would have went, instead of Tashris, I would have went with maybe with a Jaden. I think Jaden has been playing very well for Sundowns up to so far. He has, he needed to be tested at a game of consequence. He had been playing along. Tashris, even though he didn't have a bad game per se, but I felt maybe they could have got more from Jaden, from the creativity perspective and stuff. Tashrit was running at defenders and giving problems, but nothing much came out of it. I felt Salah stayed too long on the pitch. I've said it before. South Americans find it a little bit difficult to break or to impose themselves in the Champions League. I think maybe he should have showed a little bit more faith in Shalulile. There's always been this thing of saying, how do you balance the team when you've got Ikram and Shalulile playing at the same time? That's why these guys get paid the big bucks, is to make sure that you find those solutions. I think Shalulile could have been better suited. The other thing which was key, maybe in the second half, when they came back, maybe after 15 minutes, when the crowd was sort of going, that was a perfect opportunity to put Shiga. Tembazwani to lift the team, maybe to hold the ball a little bit more, dictate the game in a way. That was also a missed opportunity.
Especially with the experience that
he has, having
in
been
this
there
tournament,
before,
and also the final itself.
And the other key issue for me, take out from the match, was it works sometimes it doesn't work, but you have to try and close the match off.
Yes.
You had Mvala on the bench, who had played the previous match.
And they were piling on the aerial balls.
Yes. They're saying when you put a tall defender in the last 15 minutes, it can work in the cycle of the opposition, because when they are busy pressing you, putting in the crosses, they may want to change because they know that the tall man is in the box defending. So those are the issues. This one, squarely on the coach, from the lineup, from the changes. Not closing the game. I always remember that moment when Sundowns won AFL. Closer to the end of the match, the ball went out. There was a break in play. Mshishi ran to Coach Rulani and said to him, you could read his lips on the TV. He says, Coach, Asevale. Yeah, and then I think Onyango, soon after that, went on. They closed the match, and that's how you do it, because if you just continue wanting to play, things like that happens. It was a very, very bad one for Sundowns. They could have been traveling now with a massive advantage, but you still feel that maybe Sundowns have done fairly well in Egypt. They got a draw in the semi-final. They won the tournament there against Zamalek all those years ago. Maybe we can see a repeat of them, but it's going to be very, very difficult. This team is not an easy team at all.
Yeah. Well, Greg, it's interesting what Zizo is also talking about, because Sundowns does have this experience. And as we also go back, Mvala on goal, late minute there. But there's another interesting point that I was getting from the guys at Sundowns after this game. They were complaining about the pitch. And they were saying the pitch is also not allowing them to play.
But I just think that's going to be excuse, because they have been playing the league games there. They're used to it. They're home ground. There's no other place.
Good or bad.
Good or bad. They have to make a plan. They have been playing league games there. They know how. They're not in and out of that pitch. Apart from the result, I think first half. I think that's where Sundowns could have dominated the game.
And they were dominated in the first half. When you look at the chances that team has.
If you see, perhaps it's not a team that came like other teams that come to defend. They want to score a goal. They know that goal is very important. And you can see the Pyramids team. There's a lot of international players there, mostly in the midfield. There, I think they were short. Sundowns were short in the midfield. That's why you see that changes. That first change, Matthew coming out, and but that's a waste of change. You could have known all this before the game. But I saw what he's trying to do there, Cardoso, as a coach. I think he was looking for a goal. First half. That's why he tried to use the three strikers. But Matthew really, because some teams they're just better in defending. And Pyramid, you can see, during the group stages and all their games, you can see they don't concede a lot. They score more goals, but they know how to play this game. They are new in this Champions League, but they know how to do it well. But I just think Sundowns lost opportunities, in terms of what they could have done better. Salah's there. I think Salah was there for set piece, in case, because North Africa, the set piece. But, as both say, during that 15 minutes to go, when Peter is coming in, they just substitute that. You're winning 1-0. Close the game. You know, a lot of teams, because it's Champions League, you know they're going to play second leg, so you have advantage in the first game.
Correct.
Get one lead and go that side, because
Yes.
there you just
Because
need
if
to,
you close the game, if a second
there's
goal
no
comes, it comes.
Yeah.
But you've closed the game.
because that's when, you know, when they come, they try to push up. You still have players that can run. You have Peter there.
Yeah.
You know, bring Moshishi. I mean, there's no way you can have Moshishi on the bench.
And Peter with the experience.
He's been there.
You know, he's got the most number of goals from a South African point of view.
Yeah.
In terms of the PSL. And you talk about Mshishi, the only infield player with Champions League final experience.
Yeah.
And in the last league match leading up to this final, he came on and he played very well.
And Mvala was there too.
You know?
We thought we was preparing, you know, them for this game. And the other thing again, and you know these teams now come with crosses and long balls. And if you have it close the game, so you have defenders, because Mvala is top in heading.
Yeah.
You can head the ball, you have a counter attack, you have Peter there that can run them over, you know. But you know, that 10 seconds, you know, for them to consider that goal. I mean, if it goes, it's not come. But I think they could have done better with the defense too. Defense could have reacted because I think they didn't expect that opportunity to come in the box. And you know, in North Africa with whipping the balls in the box, they do that very well.
Actually,
you know?
that's what I want to talk about, because I was there when they played against Pirates.
Yeah.
There's wind in that stadium.
Yeah.
Even with Amachita final, there's some wind that you don't understand where it comes from in that final.
Yeah.
And if you don't use, and especially a wind favors also a team that plays that plays more with width and also with crosses.
Yeah.
And second half, that's what this team Pyramids was doing to Pirates. So what becomes the best approach for Sundowns, knowing what kind of opposition they are up against now?
They have to score. There's no choice for them. They have to score in Egypt, and for them to do that, they have to risk. You know, and so for them to risk, they have to play ball players. You know, in terms of Mashishi, them. You know, play your two striker or three, because there you have to score. There's no way now you have to play for a draw. I mean, Nini draw. You have to play for a score draw. If it's 1-1, you go to extra time, or 2-2, better for you, but you have to score. Yeah. So now they are more in disadvantage, you know, in terms of now they're looking for a goal. Pyramid now can play on counter attack.
But an early goal can turn it into an advantage.
Yes, because then they become under pressure.
Yes.
But
because I mean, Kareto, we're just talking to Hlompho Kekana now.
Yes.
He's saying they must go for broke, but
at the same time, you need to be.
You must be very careful, because
imagine
now you can't go gang ho. Because if
home.
you go gang ho, then
Let's listen to him and pick up from there.
Yeah, they're very much capable when Tlhopie, because if you look at the first leg, it tells you that they managed to score early and they scored first. That tells you that they are capable of scoring goals. I did mention that this is a competition of goals, and they are you saw in the semi-finals how they knocked out Al Ali. Nobody really remembers how they went through. It's how you go through, and that is very, very important. The same is going to occur this time around, where a goal is going to be needed, and early, like you said, if we score early, it would be nice for us to be there, because then you break the ice, you play with less stress. In Cairo, it's always a difficult space to go in. But I've watched these boys closely this year. They didn't start the season well. In some matches, I could tell that they were not themselves. Now they are on a run. They've been winning football matches. You can tell the confidence is high. I marvel the last line, which is the strikers. They contribute so many goals amongst themselves, and that tells you that as a fan like myself, you can draw, confidence from that to say we've got people who can score for us. It's just a matter of us trying to close that back door, which is to not allow them to score against us, because, like you said, that goal will turn the whole complexion of the match, and it will be nice if we score early.
You keep on talking about going for the kill. So when you go for the kill, game management must be so that you don't go for the kill and then you can't emphasize the fact that there's still balance the game to make sure that there is proper balance.
We all know that in a game of football, there's moments, there's such moments there where as a team especially when you're like Mamelodi Sundowns. You've been in the space for too long. You understand the demands. Now you're not gonna go into competition to say we're going to do 1, 2, 3 because we are capable of doing that. You're really gonna look what normally our opposition will react in some moments, because we used to laugh about this space that in a CAF Champions League we call it a chess game. How you normally play at home is not how you're going to play in the Champions League. You're playing against the teams that they are more or less in the same level as you are. They are champions where they come from. So they will give you a game model that you give them. If you saw the goal that they scored, the similar goal that we scored where Mothobi overlapped and he put the ball to D-line where Lucas Ribeiro was, the same goal they scored. It's really how you respond to moments. And I'm sure the boys that have been in the Champions League, the boys who won us the bronze medal as Bafana, they understand the demands of this competition. I cannot sit here and sound like a coach. They do know the moments that they should attack the teams. They know the moments that they really need to kill the game now. And I'm sure if you'd ask them on their couches and ask them what went wrong in the last match, they will tell you the different story than the story that I'm telling you now.
And I mean, this is the experience talking. He's done it. The last captain to lift this trophy for Sundowns, and I think this is what I like about Sundowns. When you look at even the event that we attended, Hlompho is there, Mamunda is there, Filagas is there, Onyango is there. He's part of the squad.
Tico
but,
there,
and they will travel probably also with the team. So you are not short of experience around you.
That's very good, and I mean, credit to Sundowns, they bring these former players, the legends, and with Kekana, he has done everything. I mean, the captain of the team, he scored many goals, he has been there, he knows everything, and being with the team, at least, he has other teammates to play with, Dennis Onyango, they played together, when they won the last Champions League. I think it's very good, but going for this game is going to be very important for them to score first. Scoring first in Egypt is going to be the very important point they need, because it allows Pyramid to score first. It's going to be long, big. It's going to be a long 90 minutes.
Yeah. So before we just go past this one, one of the points we're discussing in this function, in fact, we listened to the chairman and also Coach Steve as well, talking about the importance of going to this FIFA Club World Cup as African champions.
Yeah, it's important because if Sundowns, if they arrive in the US as African champions, it will help in terms of attention.
Yeah,
everybody will be talking about them. Okay, these are the African champions. Blah blah blah. So it's important, and also just momentum.
Yeah.
This is probably this is the last match before they travel. They obviously they'll go into some sort of a mini preparation thing for the players to be prepared after a long season. So it's key for them. And also just in a bigger picture, since 2016 up to now, it's a long time. If you look at the investment that Sundowns have done in trying to chase this dream of winning Champions League again, I know they've won the league and they won the league convincingly, but at the end of the day, Sundowns will be judged by the Champions League. They've been there the last 2 seasons in semi-finals. You get this pyramid that's coming out of nowhere and doing better than you and winning it. It will leave a bitter taste in the mouth if they don't win it. A lot is riding on this match. Also for the coach, you don't know what will happen to the coach if he doesn't win this match, because they went all the way. This guy, I don't think he came cheap. When you go for a big coach like this, you want him to win the Champions League. This is what Sundowns are playing for. Coach Piso did say that at Al-Ahly, you must win the Champions League.
Champions League is very important. For Kadiso to come to Sundowns, the league is already, any coach can, pass over the league with the quality they have. But the Champions League, I think Sundowns really need that. And they brought him for that purpose. For him to, I just feel like, going back to the first leg again, you always have that, because your home advantage is important. If you close that one knee, it's very important. You have the quality. Rowan is there. You have a lot of players that can, keep that zero in Egypt. But now they have to go and score, and it's going to be a very interesting game.
But Sundowns know Egypt very well. They've been traveling to Egypt almost every year. They travel to Egypt, so they shouldn't have been.
No, let me tell you. In fact, if you checked in the the last week's episode.
Yeah.
You even hear Al Ali fans there
Talking about Sundowns.
rooting for Sundowns.
Yes.
You know, and you know there, wherever you walk around there. Once they recognize that they're South African, Sundowns. You know, and they will always say, and they've got this sign because to Sundowns, because they know Sundowns can give them 5.
Yeah. The
So
other
they respect as South Africans, especially on the footballing front, that we've came to have or came to get in Egypt in particular because of Sundowns. Yeah.
That is why Pirates have to step it up in the Champions League, because Pirates also needs to be at that level. Later Chiefs must sort out their stuff and they need to be at that level. If you have got these 3 teams constantly competing for knockout stages of the Champions League, it will be good for our football. And the bigger picture also against Bafana Bafana, because if all these players are playing in the Champions League, Bafana Bafana can only be the winner.
Certainly. But now, just to move away from Champions League, but maybe before we move away, because we had prepared something to hear from the coach, and also from the chairman, and also from the assistant coach as well. One of the questions we asked the chairman earlier on here was how exciting and also attractive it will be to go to this tournament as African champions. Going to the Club World Cup as African champions.
Oh, Velil, I thought you had forgotten what you wanted to say. Because all Velil is jumping now, he's moving into Sunday. It would be a great opportunity, and we pray that it happens, and we should benefit and leverage from the fact that we've had the experience here. We could see what happened. We can rectify some of the things we went through. We could have done better, and we have seen as well what they do and how we could overcome those. 1-1 is a good score for us, in as much as we shared the spoils. The expectation is that we would have loved to win the match. Everyone would have loved to go to Cairo 2-0, 3-0, but it is what it is now. So we just have to go to Egypt with the understanding that go there, score the 2 goals required and win the match, or score the goal required, don't concede, and then come back with a trophy. And hopefully it happens. It would be marvelous to go to the US, to the Club World Cup, being champions of Africa.
Coach, do you think it's a blessing in disguise the fact that pyramids are not as well supported as maybe your Tlhopie in terms of the support when you play them?
Could be the other way around if we look at it that way. Then you go there thinking that there's something less, and when you go into a battle with your intentions not as high, thinking that there's less risk, you're gonna get hurt. We should never look into that. They are high scoring. They're a good team, and nobody can be in the CAF Champions League if they are not good enough. So we're not going to look into that. That's very dangerous.
We spoke to you on Saturday. It was just immediately after the game.
After the game, yes.
So now you've had enough time to dissect and also go back. What did you find in that game?
We found what we found, and we'll keep what we found and use it to our best interest when we get to Egypt. There's quite a number of things that we saw. There's areas we thought and felt we could have done better, and we have them in the notepads, and we will try to rectify. But we did find what we found.
Maybe that I recovered very well, and to get minutes in the field, it really feels great, maybe to be back.
And I'm sure it feels also good to be in the final of the CAF Champions League, because I think what happened last season in the semi-final would also just give you sleepless nights. But how does it feel to have the opportunity to go and win that night?
We are happy as a team, to achieve one of the goals that we set for ourselves in the beginning of the season, and we're just not happy with the result that we got in the first leg of the final. But we are preparing ourselves, getting ready for the second leg of the final. We hope we will get the result that we need that side, which is to win the game and for us and then get the trophy.
Some of your teammates are going to like match 50 now, so obviously there's some tired minds, tired legs, but I'm sure there's a lot of excitement about this competition that's getting them through this, obviously the Champions League final as well.
I will say the more you play the games, obviously you'll get tired, but when you win the games, for me I feel like when you win the games it's part of recovery, like it gives you energy. You know, in the field, even if you score in the dying minute, you are tired, but when the guys score the goals, you get that energy that you don't know where it comes from. So the guys are motivated. They know what they need to do. They recover every day, you know. And then such tournaments as going to the Club World Cup, as you say, it comes with a big energy, you know.
So what do you think the team must do differently tactically against Pyramids this time around in order for you to win the final?
I think in the first leg we did well, you know. We started well. We didn't allow them to put crosses. It's just that in the dying minutes we lost concentration then, and we allowed the cross in the box, and we didn't mark well in the box, and then that time we conceded the goal. It's something that we need to work on, and I think we should kill the game early, you know. To kill the game, we need to score more goals. You know, 3 goals, kill the game, you know, we kill their confidence, because when the score is still 1-0, they get confidence to come back, especially towards the end, where you start to see deep, want to protect the goal. That's where they will get the confidence. So I hope when we go that side, we get at least maybe 3 goals, 2 goals. You know, we really need experienced players, you know, to come to part, especially in the changing room, to push the guys to win the game, because you know it's not going to be an easy game. And you know, Pyramid, we played them before, and then we got the result that side. And knowing them that they don't have supporters is something that's gonna, you know, something that's gonna be in our advantage a little bit, you know. And then I think we just need to grind the results, fight from minute 1 to the last minute. Yeah, definitely. I would say, you know, as footballers, we dreamt of playing in such tournament. You know, when you were young, still remember when I was watching 2010 World Cup, you know, watching South Africa playing in the World Cup. You know, I had a dream as a young boy that, you know, one day I want to play in a World Cup. And now here I am, tasting a little bit of the World Cup, which is the Club World Cup. So this one will prepare us for the World Cup. I hope that we also qualify for World Cup as a nation.
Chairman, how important is to go there as African champions?
It would definitely be a bonus to go there as African champions. It's a motivation for us. It's something that we want to do, and we have that opportunity, that wonderful privilege. You know, participating in the Champions League final, which we're going to be doing this Sunday. It's something that we've longed for a long time. It's something that we cherish as a football club. But every season is something that we try to achieve. It's something that we will always continue to try and strive for, and we are one step away from doing that. So it's a wonderful opportunity. It's important for us, and we have complete faith in the players and the coach and the Yellow Nation.
Chairman, we're approaching the end of the season. Plans to move the squad to the Champions League at the end of the season?
Yeah, we're at that stage now where the season is drawing to a close. It will be a little bit difficult because, of course, our pre-season will be cut a bit short. So it will be important for us to find opportunities to bring in new players and give the coach the pre-season that he didn't have. You know, if you look back on this year, the coach came at a time when he didn't have a lot of time to pick his players or, you know, get to establish his style of football in the club. The opportunity that most coaches get when they come with the pre-season behind them. So taking that into consideration, to see that we're in a final of the Champions League with the players that he found there, it's an incredible achievement, and it's a testament to the players, the characters that they are, and again, to him and the technical team I think a lot of credit should be given. And of course, we'll go into the market, we'll look for the type of players that can complement what we're trying to achieve. And we have a wonderful technical director in sporting in Fleming Berg, as well as his assistant Ryan Hunt, and our board. And we're definitely going to try our best to make sure that the Sundowns you see next year is one that is only building on better things to come.
Now let's go to the CAF Conference. Here it was always going to be difficult, but I felt that until that VAR moment where that goal was denied by the VAR, I thought Simba are back. But RS Berkane, look, a lot will be said about the match officiating this and this, but we must also talk about how this team, RS Berkane, has been dominant in Morocco. If you look at how they won the league, and now they've been dominating this cup as well. And I think it's a good thing that this team is coming to the Champions League.
I was about to say.
The stage has been set, man. The Confederations Cup is not their thing again. I mean, you check the group stages. They play 6 games, got 16 points. Concede less, and going to the finals, you always know Simba is only the team that can give them, semi-finals. They gave what's his name, this other team in Algeria 5, Constantine. 5. Constantine. So you can see they have the quality. I mean, they are Champions League. They are supposed to be in the Champions League, but they show their dominance by winning this. But as you say in the finals, with that VAR moment, it can go anyway. But you can see, on the other side, from the replay, we have the advantage to see the replay. It was offside, and they were very, because they were like, if that goal go in, he's gonna be on that different ball game. Credit must be given to Fadu, with a man down and playing like that at home. I think Simba really. I mean, they did.
They're not really home.
Yeah. But
that's an issue there.
Yeah, that's another disadvantage for them. But they show really. There's a fight. You can see. And when they scored that first goal in the first half, I was thinking that okay, this is the moment they should capitalize on in terms of scoring one more goal in the first half again to make it 2, so that he can go. Because at the same time, Arabica they miss. There's a chance they miss. I don't know how that. Okay, you can say it's a defender under the bar. I don't know how he missed that chance. Even they're saying that okay, that moment, that cup is not going to be their cup this season. But at the same time, they have big players. They have a lot of big players, and you can see when they score that goal, I already know that it's done already.
So this RS Berkane team. Also, you look at the kind of a coach who is there. I mean, Moini Chaban. I remember first time I saw him. He was an assistant at Esperance remember when they came down here to beat Sundowns, and Sundowns had not been beaten in a long time, and they beat Sundowns here at Lucas Moripe, and then he went on to win back-to-back Champions League titles with Esperance, and now he's won the CAF Conference, and he was still a very young coach.
Yeah, I mean that's experience. I mean, as you pointed out, Elon, I'm glad that they're coming to the Champions League because I think they'll add value there. It will be a little bit of a step up from the Comfort Cup.
Yes.
I felt this season the Champions League was poorer without Wydad. You need these big teams in the Champions League. And I've always often said that even here in Southern Africa, we need one strong team from Zambia.
Yes, I mean we used to have Zesco.
We used to have Mozanako, to add a little bit of value there. It's good that West Africa we need maybe one of these other team.
Enyimba or Horoya.
Horoya, for some reason, I don't know what's going on there. The club there. It looks like the people who have funded the club have pulled out. There's not enough money coming there. It was good to find Horoya always competing at group stages. You go to Cote d'Ivoire, you always have one team competing there. So that it becomes...
But now I see the team started Abidjan has won the league.
They won the league, they'll come back. They were there last season. So if you have each and every single region well represented, it becomes a fully strong league where you will never say North Africa will win because then it becomes competitive. But Berkane brings that element of competitiveness to the league. It's a very good team. As you touched on the coach, you can say that he has paid his school fees. He has been around for a very, very long time, and you can see the experience that is coming through there now. I just hope the people who own the club, sort of capacitate the team to make it a bit stronger because Hey, when you go to the group stage of the Champions League and other stages, it becomes a very difficult or a very different story. You always find the Sundowns there. You find the Al Ahly, the Zamalek, and the Esperance, and it's very, very difficult to go to those places and play. TP Mazembe once in a while is always there. I don't know about Nigeria.
Ramos Stars just won the league now.
Oh, Ramos Stars
they won the league. I think they're
Let them come.
Yeah, they're going to compete.
You think they'll be...
You never know, with Nigerian team, apart from Enyimba was the only strong team that, compete back to back, the likes of Vincent Eyama, them, but for now, you always have them, they go out on the first stage, and which is, making Nigerian football
it's a shame. It needs to come to it. It's a worrying thing.
It's good to have a strong national team, but that is not where we judge your.
Where is Azek Mimosas? Where is House of Oak from Ghana? Those are the traditional strong teams from West Africa who have always been in the
last time I checked was even
from Cameroon.
Where's Cotton Sport?
I remember Cotton Sport used to come to Loftus there during the Roger Vidumba days. They were hammered there, but they were competing in the Champions League. And then those teams are no longer there, which is really a shame.
But one area that we must commend, though, because they were in the final even now, and you can see, especially there in East Africa, they are really flying the flag there in Tanzania. If it's not Yanga, it's Simba. Maybe Azam will also come through as well. But very soon.
Yeah, we need to do a special about West Africa.
Yes. We need to but also very soon, it looks like it could happen, but I don't know when. Definitely maybe not next season, but the issue of the top 5 leagues, or maybe some leagues there sending 3 teams in the Champions League.
To be better,
imagine if from here you would have Kaizer Chiefs, Sundowns, Paris in the Champions League. You have Pyramids, Al Ali, and also Zamalek. You have Wydad, Raja, and Pekan here. It's.
Maybe here you must have Sundowns, Paris, and Stellenbosch.
No, but the league now is very strong now. You cannot put them in that order again. Now, a lot of teams, Stellenbosch is there. Don't forget, Kukunes too is there.
Comrade, don't talk about eyeballs here.
You have to get.
First of all, you mean it's not a wish? You must finish in the top 5.
First of all, you have to perform in the league for you to get there. It's not a given.
Who's not there for me?
You can see the table. The table don't lie. You play 30 games. You play 30 games. Wherever you end in the table, that's where you deserve to be.
Let me answer. Super Sport and Capital City.
No. I don't think the tenants will be happy with the responses. But now let's move. Still in North Africa. I can see that, once you are in the North African area, once the bug catches you, it's difficult to move away from it. And it looks like Zizo, we saw the confirmation of Coach Rulani, also even sent a passionate message to the club with that is leaving. But it looks like he's not going to come back to the side anytime soon.
It's unlikely he'll come to South Africa. If he comes to South Africa, really, as things stands now, he can only go to Paris. Paris are looking for a coach, but I highly doubt if he'll come back to South Africa to Paris. His talks are rising, Rulani. There will be people on the continent, especially higher up, or even in the Gulf region, who have been following a young, very, very good coach. I still say that maybe in years to come, we have to look back at this decision to realize that it's a wrong decision. I think the chairman or the board or whoever is running that club should have backed him, also by pleading with fans to give him a little bit more time. Rulani is somebody who was ultimately going to get the team right. They were impatient, and it's unfortunate. I mean, look at the players that he brought there. Melula is doing very well, Lodge is doing very well. There's talks now that they're talking to Sundowns, wanting to buy Lodge outright to become their player, because it's very clear that he doesn't have a future at Sundowns at the way things are going. So he brought some changes. He needed a little bit more time. I understand he was brought there.
No, boss, there's no time. He must win. He must deliver. He must deliver.
Rabat as well.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but
They bought Amrabat now.
What's his name? The one from Young Africa.
Aziz Ki.
And Roland was instrumental in getting us.
But he must deliver, man. They brought you there to come and deliver. This thing of saying that there's no.
Yeah.
But you see, at the end of the day, North Africa, the way they treat their football, Roland won the league with Sundowns, and going to North Africa, they want him because they finished 6th the other season, and they expect him to finish.
They finished third now. They'll finish third though.
Yeah, but they want them to second. Champions League is their target. If not winning the league, Champions League. But he got the players he wants. He brought the players he wants in the team there, and the team is not winning. If the team is not winning, it's one. North Africa is not like the Southern region. Yeah, we have some team that out of the top 8, and they're saying that the coaches must be there for under season.
And I can tell you now, this season he was probably going to win this Comfort Cup.
But they don't have that time. They don't have that time. They have the time for Champions League.
They want the Champions League.
They want to play Champions League, not Confederation
But also,
Cup.
I think what is important, Greg, is also to understand the squad.
But he brought some of the players he wanted. They
but also, you can bring them, but it's not going to be an instant thing. At least it's finished third. Unlike the situation here next door where.
That's what those people. That's why those people are very serious in terms of their league and how they treat their club.
Yeah.
Some teams in North Africa.
So you are saying here if the situation of Coach Nabi was with that, you would have been long.
No, long time, man. That's long. There's no two ways about it. Roland is standard. He has set a big standard. He's a top coach, and he's not gonna. Every club wants him because he's a modern coach. He knows what he's doing.
But you are aware that he could have still possibly even achieved a top 2 finish even on the last day.
Yeah, but they don't have. You play 27 games. You won 11, draw 12. They don't have that time because they are still on the 3rd place. Confederation Cup is not their target. They want to go to Champions League. For me, I just feel like maybe they're impatient with him, but 27 games is a lot for a coach. 27 games is a lot.
Sometimes you have a break from this tradition of just being impatient and all. Because if you see that you've got something special, you have to support, you have to make the fans understand. The president is quite a wealthy guy, he's quite somebody who I think the Wydad fans will listen to. If he had pleaded with the fans to say, guys, this
there's no time to plead with each supporter there. Every supporter has his own thing.
But you see now,
they want to win the league.
They may
to Champions League.
You see, this may be a continuation of a spiral of lack of success. Because this coach, if the same thing happens, they're gonna fire. Somebody comes, fire. You are not going to have any progress.
That's a serious club. That team is a serious team. Arabakar has set the standard high. So
if you are a chairman, I will never work for you.
No. In everything you do, it's a business. In North Africa, Champions League, Cup, others the Cup games, they take it very seriously. And he went out in the Cup in the last 16. There's a lot of things.
Okay,
but I think
let's move on. Let's move on. We're not talking about the past now. We're talking about the futures. This is where I want to find out. Where is it going?
There is interest across the continent, especially up there. I'm told there's in Sudan. They're linking him now to Zamalek. Is it Zamalek?
Zamalek. Yes.
Apparently, there are a few teams in the Gulf region who are interested.
Zamalek has got serious money issues. And also they can't afford the talent that they're looking for. Remember, they are in the Confed Cup.
For me,
so Zamalek is a red flag for me.
There's a space for him at
No.
Pirates is playing Champions League. This is where you need to gauge yourself. We need competition in this league. We need competition, and he's a top coach. Imagine him coming back home to Pirate and competing with Sundowns. I feel like we need our best product. We need our best hands in the league.
You say we need both him and Coach Peter in this league?
Definitely. The league will be exciting. We don't have that gap again.
Him coming back here may be tricky if they are signing players already.
But he needs to have a say in terms of.
Hopefully, they have not signed players. If they have signed players, I don't think.
But for me, I think what he has achieved and going to North and test itself. You need to. There's a space now.
But it's just arrived there. One season.
That's where you need to come back now, regroup again. There's no shame in coming back and start again. You need to compete with the other team in the other side in the capital there, and so that we can have competition in this league.
Coach, if they've already signed players, he won't come.
Yeah, but we don't know yet because he's seen have a say because his coaching ability we really need it in certain region because at Pirate now they don't have there's a space for him and what he has done. Imagine him taking Wida to third place, coming to Pirate. I think with his capability, I think he can compete head to head with the other team.
The other tricky thing will be.
They have
to break the bank.
Yeah,
because it's not going to come cheap.
Yeah, because he was fetching it.
And also he's coming with these people like Coach Peter is doing. He's got his own guys. You must consume them also. These are highly qualified people costing a lot. I'm not saying Pirates don't have money. They do have money.
Yeah.
The Pirates will probably be able to afford to pay.
Yeah.
But will they be willing to pay him? Will they be willing to do that? I don't know. So yeah, it's very, very tricky. But the key sticky point from these big coaches is the players.
We went out this past week. We met the legend, Alexander Song. It's not every day you have a Blaugrana, a Guna, you know. What you feel you're talking to a real legend.
Yeah, proper stuff.
Proper stuff.
Sure.
A legend that comes from your club. They always say, my clubs don't win anything, especially when it comes to Arsenal.
We had the privilege and the honor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And interestingly, I went home later and I was watching Iñaki Williams becoming the new captain of Atletico Bilbao because the former captain was retiring after spending 16 years at the club. And I think one of the things that I liked about Alex Song there was the importance of understanding how to, I won't say impart knowledge, but also to give back proper and be that big brother in African football and seeing other young African players. And something I'm sure Greg will also relate to a lot because he's been meeting all these guys from the early 90s. Early 90s. From the 2000s.
Where is that passport?
Yeah. So, but and he didn't say no. Real age.
No, that's what Lee said.
Yeah. Sure.
Next week I'm bringing MRI here.
Now I'm not playing again, so I'm allowed to coach. I'm allowed to coach with any age.
I'll come back to it. Yeah, but that was a very, very good one that we had with Alex Song.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, personally, as an Arsenal fan, it was nice to see him.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you sort of see these people from a distance. And one thing which struck me about him is that he's not petulant. With these so-called former big players, they tend to be petulant, prima donnas. He was good. He spoke very well. He obviously was here on the La Liga ticket, so he was speaking a lot about La Liga stuff, and also the good old memories of playing against in that top Barcelona side. Some good insights about Messi and Iniesta and all those big players that he played with. So yeah, it was very, very nice. Obviously, they were handing out or they were announcing the La Liga MVP for Africa, as you said, Iñaki Williams. Yeah, so it was a very good discussion. He has got some very strong views about Africa, about African football. One thing which struck me also in what he said was that we really need to spend more time on grassroots football to produce young players, because you always see the Lamals and many other young players flourishing at a young age at national at their clubs and national teams, while our guys here at the same age, they don't even know whether they are left or right-footed, which is a big problem. We have done sporadically well here and there. Pirates a good example, Stellenbosch a good example, and other teams that have really shown confidence in young players. It's an area which we really need to focus more on. So yeah, it was very nice to pick his brains about stuff, and also just how difficult it is as an African child to leave the continent and go to Europe and make it big there, because he actually spoke about the fact that if you are an African going to the big leagues in Europe, you have to work 3 times harder than the guys that are found there. Some that you are actually very, very much better. Sometimes you don't play because of coaches prefers them. for whatever reason. So it's not easy to make it out there. And his advice to young kids is that they must just believe in themselves, continue to work, listen to the coaches, and then we'll get there. So it was very, very nice to see him. Kudos to La Liga for bringing somebody of his knowledge to the country to talk about the issues that are confronting our continent.
And I think when I look at it, Greg, because guys like Alex Song are guys more like closer to your generation, even though we maybe slightly behind, but it's what I like with them is this issue of always being there, and also wanting to see more young African players making it at the highest level. I think it's something to do with those earlier generations.
I mean, they are open, they have already opened the ways for other kids, in terms of African kids to go there. He played for Barcelona. I mean, he has a top team, played with the likes of Messi, Puyo, them, I think, he has done a lot from Arsenal, Barcelona. I mean, he's a legend on his own right, for him to get involved in this, I think, it's a good thing for African football.
You will not have been a Malakia player to play for that Barcelona.
No. That Barcelona team was very good.
But I just want you guys to touch on Iñaki, because I think for me, since he turned out for Nigeria, as Africans, we've gotten more glued to him. For Ghana. I think since he started playing for Ghana, the Black Stars, I'm not sure if he would have been able to play for.
No, there's no space in
for Spain.
No, in Nigeria there's no space. There's no space for you.
So he could not play for Nigeria and Spain.
No. I mean, he couldn't play for Spain because his younger brother Nico is playing for Spain.
No, that's. I mean, for him, I think he has done well for Atletico Bilbao. In terms of what they have achieved now this season. And he has risen that flag because sometimes, Champions League. Sometimes you have these African players they're born in Europe. There, if there's no space that side there, you come back and where you can get space. And he has done well for Ghana too. He has added value for Ghana. So I just feel like for him to win that award back to back. It's well deserved, but before him there was Nigeria that Chukwueze there, So I just feel like
Sadiq was also nominated now.
You see, but Sadiq for this season, he contributed a lot because for Atletico Bilbao to be in the Champions League, I mean, you always have that Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, but for them to be in that Champions League spot, I think he had, scored 14 goals, and a lot of assists too, I think he deserved it, back to back for the first time. But the good thing again, having this award in Africa is more important,
On Africa Day also.
On Africa Day.
On Africa Day, let's pick up on what happened there on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. He has had a good season. A very, very good player playing for a special club. As Alex has said earlier on, that it's always difficult to go to Bilbao because of the culture, and I think it's a very, very interesting city also. So yeah, I'm definitely surprised. Congratulations to him.
Iñaki Williams, the winner. Alex, your thoughts on him being crowned Sporty MVP 2024-2025?
No, I think he deserves it. He deserves it. He's one of the best talent we have in Africa playing in Liga. And then, like I said before, he's playing in the team, the club is very particular, and it's not easy for African players to go in the Bilbao just to prove himself. He did it. I think for many years now, he's one of the top African players in the Liga. And every year he just show like, I am African, I'm here, I'm trying to put Africa in the top of the world. And then for me, he's deserve it. And hopefully next year we will see more guys who come to challenge him, because this guy is getting older, he's doing very, very good. That's proof like more years coming, more he's improving himself as well. I know it's not easy for the young guys watching him winning every day, but that's football, with maturity.
Of course, like I said in the past, we are dreaming when you are young, especially when Africa is very difficult. Sometimes we don't have any solution, sport, football, you can change a lot of things, a lot of people, And then when you, like you said, William, when you see the story for the guy, he just born in Africa, go to Europe, go to Spain, and then to be the players like dude is today, when you're going there and you go back to Africa, people you show the world, like, and the people, like, the way how you can be, you know, because when you're successful, like, everyone dream to be like you, you know, and everyone dreaming when you sleep, you're saying, oh, I want to be like this guy, I want to improve myself, I want, and that, all those things. When you have one guy is going back, it's very easy when you touch, you see in your eye, you see this guy, he was here, and look at him today. I want to be like him, you know, that's giving motivation for a lot of generation. It's not only from I don't know, South Africa and Cameroon, whatever, is Africa. When you see one African player in the top in the world there, you're dreaming. You know, you're here, you said, oh, he was like me today, and look at him today. Of course, like I said in the past, you know, we are dreaming when you are young, you know, especially when you know, Africa is very difficult. Sometimes you don't have any solution, you know, sport, football, you can change the life of a lot of things, a lot of people, you know. And then when you, like you said, like William, when you see the story, for the guy, he just come born in Africa, go to Europe, go to Spain, and then to be the players like dude is today, you know, when you're going there and you go back to Africa, people, you show the world, like, and the people, like, the way how you can be, you know, because when you're successful, like, everyone dream to be like you, you know, and everyone dreaming when you sleep, you're saying, oh, I want to be like this guy, I want to improve myself, I want, and that, all those things. When you have one guy is going back, it's very easy when you touch, you see in your eye, you see this guy, he was here, and look at him today. I want to be like him, you know, that's giving motivation for a lot of generation. It's not only from, I don't know, South Africa and Cameroon, whatever, is Africa. When you see one African player in the top in the world there, you're dreaming. You know, you're here, you said, oh, he was like me today, and look at him today.
La Liga has been home to African talents for decades today. La Liga aims actually, obviously, having more African talents in the league. Reason why we take it very serious. We acknowledge their presence. We go further than acknowledging their presence. We invite fans of the African continent, fans of La Liga, to vote their best players of the season, of each season. This is the 4th edition that when we started this campaign, and we have thousands of fans who go out there and vote to recognize the best performing African player in La Liga this season. We have a winner. We're all happy, but I must mention that our commitment with Africa, La Liga's commitment with Africa is firm. I mentioned that we have an regional office here in Johannesburg since 10 years now. That this office was opened in 2015, so since then we're deploying our activities on the continent. I must also mention that as we speak, we have 8 boys and girls on their way to the airport from the communities of Rustenburg, on their way to the airport. These boys and girls are below 14 years old. They are on their way to the airport as we speak right now, because we are flying them to Madrid for a 10 days experience where they'll be playing against new teams in Spain.
Bueno, un galardón de este tipo siempre supone que estás haciendo las cosas bien. Contento y orgulloso de que puedan ser 2 años seguidos y bueno, ojalá pueda llegar ese tercero. Bueno, teniendo en cuenta que la Liga siempre ha tenido jugadores africanos o descendientes de padres africanos, pues bueno, es un orgullo el poder representar de alguna manera nuestras raíces, el poder dar visibilidad en una liga tan especial que siempre ha sido muy seguida, el que los chavales de un continente africano que siempre se ha respirado fútbol puedan ver a sus referentes o ídolos de alguna manera triunfar, pues es siempre bonito y bueno, orgulloso, contento, y ojalá el fútbol, los jugadores africanos sigan aportando en la liga porque lo estamos haciendo todos muy bien. Bueno, estamos en una generación muy buena de jóvenes y más veteranos que estamos jugando un fútbol increíble, llevamos 2 años muy buenos, no nos ponemos techos, sabemos que cómo estamos creciendo como equipo está siendo muy valorado y bueno, esperemos que la temporada siguiente en Champions pues podamos asentarnos, podamos pelear otra vez por entrar en Champions y evidentemente la Copa, que es el sueño de todos los atletisales, podamos hacer un buen papel.
Well, we're just a month away from the WAFCON tournament, that is the CAF Women's Champions League. It's good to see that Morocco and CAF have now released all the venues that are going to be used there. We saw with the Rabat Diamond League that the Olympic Stadium is now open, and it's also one of the stadia that will be used for this tournament. And I think it's a good thing that the Southern African countries, the COSAFA countries, heading to this tournament, the Copper Queens, and also the Maize as well from Botswana, and Banyana organized this three-nation tournament.
Yeah, it's very, very critical. I was with the ladies earlier in the week, and this preparation. The one thing, sometimes we hammer Safa, but I think on this one, with regards to Banyana, we have to give them credit. They've been playing friendlies. I mean, they were in Europe and playing Denmark, and they play against Jamaica and all these other things. Now they are. This is the last sort of camp, because the next FIFA window is mainly about over-releasing of players. They won't really have been able to do much. So Zambia is always tough opposition. I'm just not sure what type of team Zambia is bringing, but regardless, they will be strong. Botswana also will provide a different kind of test to our ladies. Also, the coach Desiree Ellis has been able to get most of the players. I mean, Helda is here, Symposium I think is here. Some of the other Banyana players are back. It's also important that Refugee Jani is back. She's been out of an injury now since almost a year. She has played a few games for Tales Galaxy.
Score last 2 weeks. Score is her first goal last 2 weeks.
Have you been able to watch them?
Training. I watch a little bit, because they train, after we finish training, they train later on, but they have been doing well in the league, they have been doing very well.
And you can see the impact of having Refugee there.
Yeah.
Even for the national team, I mean, the coach talks about leadership. She talks about a point of reference. She has been there. She has led this team to AFCON success in the past. So he's somebody who will definitely add a lot of value to that side, and it's good that she's back. I asked the coach if she's definitely a starter for AFCON. She said to me she's the captain of the team. I'll leave it at that. You can see if nothing goes wrong between now and then, she'll definitely be on that plane to AFCON. And it will be good to see her there. They say, I haven't been able to watch, but they say she still has got the touches. Obviously, coming back from such a long injury off can be tricky. But I'm happy that they are preparing, and we'll be at the stadium obviously on Wednesday. By the time this episode comes out, they would have played against Botswana, but hopefully they'll do well there. And it's just, they need to step up the preparations now, because it's getting closer.
It's getting closer, and I think in some of the matches that we have seen, and you get the feeling that it's not going to be easy for Banyana to defend their title. I also saw the Super Falcons are also in camp as well. And you know that Nigeria is going to come to this tournament trying to wrestle back and get
we want them in the final.
And Morocco as well.
Morocco too. But Banyana, they have done very well in terms of defending champion. I mean, for them to win it is they have something in them. For them to organize this camp, playing against Botswana and Zambia. Don't forget Botswana was quarterfinalists in the last edition. Zambia semi-finalists. So they're playing against a strong side, which is very, very good. For you to prepare for a bigger tournament, meeting Falco, you need to prepare very well, because it's going to be a very difficult tournament this time, because they are defending champion, and every other country want to win this time 100%. Around. So they have to go well prepared, for this tournament, and they are doing that now with these games.
But it's also disturbing news about the issue of the coach not being on a long-term contract. What is happening here? I mean, this is a reigning African coach of the year, African champion. Are we not respecting our own now?
Here I was saying I want to say good things about Safa only. You can't help.
No. I don't want people to say, "Oh, this podcast is tangy." They don't discuss issues.
Apparently, the coach doesn't have a contract. I don't know how you work without a contract. Corporate governance things, HR people frown upon those kinds of things. It just sort of talks to, how do I say this? It talks to the mess that this organization has been for a very, very long time. We have to say it. If indeed the coach does not have contract, then I really don't know.
Hopefully, because we don't want international broadcasters in that tournament when they are broadcasting, when they just go past our coach. This is the coach without a contract.
Yeah, I mean, the coach at under 20 apparently is earning 25,000 rand. There are staff members who are earning 16,000 rand. There are just so many things that are happening. It wouldn't pass me that some of the people who work for that organization have to be paid. Maybe players and staff or whatever the case may be. So it's really a very, very difficult situation. It has been happening for a very, very long time. As to how long as South Africans we are going to tolerate this, I don't know. But you feel that something will happen. I'm not promoting anarchy, but you saw what happened in Zambia. The people stormed the office.
In Zambia, but is it right? Is it right though that because in fact we're going to play what happened there in Zambia because the new president of FAZ addressed the staff and said some of these things will not happen.
We should not fail. We have to work together. And then also, I must take this opportunity. I've told everybody not to live in fear, to support each other, and to live in harmony. But also, we don't want rumor mongering. We need everybody. All concerted efforts must be put in place to ensure that we work together with the previous administration. We still need to work together with the former president, Mr. Andrew Ndangakamanga. He is a very important part of what we are trying to do in terms of, look, he was president for a long time. And if you are going to discard that knowledge, then it's a mistake. He has experience, even at international level. He has got institutional memory. He has got certain competences. And obviously we need him. We also need other former presidents like Teddy Mulonga, whom I'm in touch with, who need his wisdom. Kalusha Wadi himself, who need his input in any way possible. There are others who may not really have been a former president here, but they have contributed to the development of football in this country. We shall need them. We have to work with all the clubs, the provincial administration, to make sure that we are on the same page. The province that the previous administration left, which are working. If it ain't broken, ladies and gentlemen, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Don't fix it. So those things that are working, we have to continue. Where we can improve, let's improve. Where we can introduce new things that we want them to work for the first time, let's do that. But most importantly, I think I keep emphasizing, a leader does not work alone. It's teamwork all the time. That's what gives you success. Together, everyone achieves more.
But we hear the president now. But these things are happening. And they've locked the stuff out. And one of the things apparently that is being demanded is that the SG who's there was the SG of the previous regime. So they're trying to...
It's Africa, Africa, there's a lot of things that, if not the bonuses, it's the office, So, but I just feel like, it's not right, They need to sort out this thing, with Dr. Patrick Motsepe making, the CAF looking good now and, other stuff. We can have other stuff now coming to mess up every other things, But I think, Zambia really need to wake up and fix every other thing they need to fix. Before a big tournament they're going to.
Also, some of these
countries, mentality.
Some of these countries that are busy with this nonsense off the field are the countries that can't even play matches at home. It's unbelievable. Instead of focusing on fixing infrastructure, instead of focusing on investing money into youth structures, they're busy fighting for positions. They're stealing money. It's unacceptable. We can't go on like this.
Sure.
No, it's a very sad one. This one, but. I'm just also looking at this matter of Zambia and because you also look at, they are here now. If they have locked offices and then somebody wants to come into the office and do some work there, they've got a national team playing here. So who's doing the work?
Maybe they want money for something. If they want money for something, they want some logistical issues to be sorted out. Who do they get hold of? If the staff is in the office is locked. How are you going to be able to operate it like this? It's a mess. It's a mess. And people, leaders must hang their heads in shame that they are doing these kinds of things. These ladies are here to prepare for
big tournament.
Important tournament.
Yeah, no. On that note, we'll make a quick substitution. And you know, I will say like we usually do in the FIFA side. Yeah. So you'll be back when we finish.
But I don't know if the man who's coming on has been warm up. He's been warming up or what. I don't see him sweating.
This is a man who's been to World Cups, to AFCONs. It's a pity that he's not delivered a continental spot. Pity.
No, that's fine. He has to pray for Sundowns to win the Champions League. Yeah. So he probably is going to be there.
And don't forget, before we step off on the Babanyana thing, I spoke to the coach there about the preparations for these matches against Botswana and Zambia. Yeah.
I'm really happy to be part of the team again, with all the hard work that I had to put behind the scenes to make sure that I'm up and ready again in preparing for the WAFCON, and hopefully going forward I'll still be pushing, working hard to make sure that I make the final team.
It was a bad injury. How did you stay motivated, and how tough was the rehabilitation program?
It was a really tough period during the injury process. Trying to come back wasn't easy. You know, a lot of things happened behind the scenes, but I'm really grateful for all the doctors that I worked with, all the physios, and my family for the support that they helped me with, and even the trainers that I worked with in trying to come back. It wasn't an easy journey. A lot of mental work had to be done, a lot of staying disciplined and motivated. It wasn't easy, but also I have to say thank you to TS Galaxy for helping me get back into the game slowly but surely, and making sure that whatever that I had lost back then, I'm able to regain and recover and move forward.
I can see a lot of catching up to do here.
Of course, it's been a long period being away from the team, so there's still a lot of work to be done in trying to catch up. There's a lot of new faces again in the team, but the goal remains the same. That's the most important thing. So we try to work together as a team again and try to achieve what we put into place.
Well, we continue with the talk around Banyana, and joining us here is Bafana, performance analyst, and also the head of performance analysis and also scouting at, or do they call it the recruitment these days, at Sekhukhune. I was looking at Sekhukhune finishing at third and going to the continent, but the analyst here, he's
no, he has to pray for Sundowns to win the Champions League, so there's going to be space for him. But they did very well, and I think he analyzed top. You can see where you end. I mean, that's a big plus, man. You know, for them to maintain.
So you saw how Sekhukhune improved this?
No, they improved a lot. You know, improved a lot. You know, the way they play.
What did you pick up?
I mean, the way they play against other teams. You know, and you can see the striker. What's his name? The Nigerian boy there. You know, I always have Izu. I mean, the way he attacked the ball in the box.
Was used differently this season?
This differently. He wasn't playing. I don't know what happened beginning of the season. He didn't play much, but with the new coach, you know, I mean, he play and score a lot of goals. Not much,
there was a
but
period where you scored about 6 goals in a row.
You can see, you know, even every team, you know, even when TS play against Sekhukhune, we always know that they're going to analyze us from head to toe. We always know that it's going to be always a tough game, you know. But I mean, he has done massive well, you know.
Smiles now, no?
No, he has done massive well. You know, he has done well, you know.
Yeah, because
thank you.
Because next season is coming.
Now, Sekhukhune against TS is always just, you know, you always know that it's always going to be a tight game, you know, because I mean, there's a lot of things going on, you know, on the pitch and off the pitch, you know, in terms of analyzing, you know, the games.
Yeah, I think we have to really be proud. Thank you, Greg. The team, has done well. Highest number of goals ever. Highest number of points accumulated ever. Most number of wins ever. You know, so I think the only thing we didn't improve is the position, you know, but at least we didn't drop also. Stayed in the same position as last season. So, amazing work by the team, you know. Really, it's been an amazing season, I hope we can get better, of course.
Well, from Sekhukhune to Banyana, it's a discussion that we're already assist with here, but I'm interested in these 3 COSAFA nations, in terms of looking forward, preparing for the tournament, because if you look at Zambia, they've got Morocco, they've got Senegal and DR Congo in their group. And then there's the Super Falcons, the most successful African national women's team.
Now, this time around,
They have Tunisia, Algeria, and Botswana. Hey, Botswana is coming for you. Eh?
they have to prepare against Banyana first. So
Zambia.
And Zambia, yeah, before they come and meet the almighty Falcon.
And then you look at Banyana, Ghana for a long time was in the top 3 in Africa, but they dropped the ball. Then Mali and Tanzania. In this phase of preparation, especially, it's like a month away from the tournament now. What becomes important?
Yeah, I think tactical work, building cohesion in the team and the chemistry, of course now they would have analyzed the opposition, I know for sure, Coach Des, for sure I know, they would have analyzed all their the 3 opposition in the group, and then they will have to try and see the type of opposition that will give them similar resistance to what they'll probably face in the tournament, and obviously come with all those technical permutations from a preparation point to try and simulate the tournament as much as they can, to really see one aspect, the physical readiness, to be able to cope with the quality, with the demands, with the physical demands of the tournament. The second part is the tactical preparation, to try different systems, different approaches, so that they can try to increase their tactical unpredictability. And then the third aspect is the cohesion, because you can have all these aspects, physical and tactical good, but for as long as you don't have the togetherness, the cohesion, that chemistry of the pitch, that is what makes successful teams, especially in tournaments, because you are together for a long time, so you really have to have that togetherness. So those aspects are of course very, very key at the moment, working on key patterns, and I'm pretty sure they've done in their in-depth analysis of each and every opposition. They know exactly what to expect and how to counter those situations that they're most likely to face in the tournament.
And one of the reasons we are also here is to delve deeper into the next Symposium of SM Sports Consulting that you will be having in Pretoria. Give us the dates again in July.
Yeah. So it's the 26th and the 27th of July, 2025, at the Future Africa Center at the University of Pretoria, in Tshwane. And the idea of the symposium is actually to with all my experience having been to the World Cup, AFCONs, travel the world. I've had the privilege when I was studying in Europe to visit all the best clubs in the world and to really see the best practices. And I always felt when we come back home, what is one aspect that is missing between us and the rest of the world? And I look at the areas of specialization such as performance analysis, sports science, the medical expertise, all these specialist fields that I think that are underlooked. And then what was then my vision to my vision and my partner Tera Maliwa to then say, how do we try to bridge this gap? We can only bridge it through having programs of this nature. And then you see the lineup of speakers. We've got Faisal, who's a high performance manager from FIFA. We've got Andrew Moshin, who's an international talent ID manager for Arsenal. So then you've got myself. You've got the
How easy was it to get these people?
I think not so easy, but I think I must also credit the team behind, the professional approach. As much as I have easy and direct access to them, Andrew was my classmate in Europe at UEFA, but of course he works at Arsenal. He works directly with the new sporting director and Arteta. So the approach, I think more than anything, especially also with Faisal at FIFA, with a very busy program, so it's not easy, and hence when people ask me, why are you guys charging 5,000 rand? And you can only imagine having to convince a sporting director at Arsenal to say, borrow us your guy to come and give an international perspective from a talent identification point in Africa is not an easy task.
You've been here, Greg, as a player in this country, graduated to being a coach now, and we are one of the highly qualified goalkeeping coaches who are active in the league, because we're in a special league where there are professional clubs that have got goalkeepers who don't even have a minimum qualification in coaching. This kind of seminars, because I've also seen that they've got something on goalkeepers as well. How important are they for football?
Very important. With that lineup, you don't want to miss that game. No, I mean, it's very important for you to be in that, in that course. It's very important because, you can see the lineup, you can see the experienced people are there, and you need to refresh, no matter how knowledgeable you are in everything you do, you need to refresh, you need to catch up with the modern game, you need to catch up with what is happening, I just feel like, it's a good thing, and I promise I have to be there. I have to be there. With that lineup, I know I have to be there. I have to be there, to learn more, because this thing add value to you in terms of, going to the league, in terms of acquiring more knowledge in terms of what you're doing, as a goalkeeper coach, you need this to know one or two things, going forward. So, it's going to be very nice,
And when we talk of goalkeeping, we've got the great Itumele Nkune, who's going to be part of the panel. The Banyana captain, Andile Dlamini, she's also going to be part of that panel with the Bafana goalkeeper coach. And now we also have a surprise we have not announced yet. Maybe it's a good platform to announce that surprise. I know my PR team will kill me. We have another edition member who's a goalkeeper specialist. I won't mention the name, from FIFA, who's actually spoken to us to join that conversation. So it's going to be an exciting one. But the main vision that we have is that with all the experience that I have, as I was mentioning earlier, I've realized that coaches know where to go when they want to study, but where do specialists go in Africa to study? They've got nowhere to go. I've personally, to be where I am as a specialist, have had to go to Europe to be able to attain the credentials that I have. So now we are using these educational platforms to bridge that gap, to bring the knowledge to Africa, so that Africa can not only improve from a coaching point, but the areas of specialization that are also important to support the coaching process, so that we also one day, Africa, can get closer and closer to the rest of the world.
I'm more interested when it comes to analysis. How does it benefit, especially you as a goalkeeper coach? As a goalkeeper coach, just give example, you are playing a team, for example, a team like Golden Arrows. You have to study their set piece, and who to give you that, is from the analyst. He caught every detail, how the set piece, how he shape his body, if it's a penalty, if it's a corner kick, in swing or out swing, how their mentality is in the box, the strikers, who is shooting from long range, who is placing the ball, who is using his left foot. So there's a lot of things. Your job is to train the goalkeeper as a goalkeeper coach, but their job is more difficult because when they go to cut those those clips, it takes time. As you say earlier, we are playing against them, so I don't want to dive into more detail.
And I love to talk about set pieces, talk about Golden Arrows. I nearly broke my iPad this past weekend. We scored a goal against Golden Arrows on the set piece. And if you can go back, you can reference. I saw Chiefs scoring a goal like that. We saw Cape Town City now analysis scoring a goal like that, and we score exactly the similar goal like that from analysis. So those are moments that we try to create a predictability. We try to make the game as predictable as much as possible from a tactical point.
And their job, you as a coach, generally as a head coach, assistant coach, keeper coach, their job is more difficult in terms of they prepare, they give you the ammunition. This is how this team play. So it's left for you now to maneuver and see how you're gonna maneuver, because a situation like that is gonna maybe it's not gonna come in the first minute, maybe it's gonna come in the last minute, but definitely this is how the team prepares and this is how the team plays.
And then I think just lastly, before we wrap up, Nausne, this will also be just before the season starts, and this is also a very particular part of the season when it comes to scouting as well, and we have noticed now scouting is very much data-driven.
Yeah.
The other week here on African Football Connect, we were discussing the issue of AfriScout, which I feel that is going to shorten the processes, especially for clubs that don't have the budgets to travel the continent.
Yeah, and it's amazing you say that, because I got a very exciting email as I was coming up here that one of the biggest technology partners actually bought a spot to join the symposium to present and also to showcase one of the analysis tools, Catapult, so which is actually the #1 GPS in the world, so you can imagine if Catapult see value, they're flying a guy from London to come and join us in the symposium, so that is how important technology is.
Y-Scout is back in South Africa.
Yeah, Y-Scout is back in South Africa. Y-Scout has a workshop immediately after hours. Y-Scout is going to have a guest also in our symposium.
That lineup is going to be, that's a star-studded lineup. No.
Yeah, so, and we've got club executives from top clubs coming to join us in the symposium. So it's really been amazing, how it's going. I think people saw the quality that we provided in Gqeberha last year, and we want to take it a level up. But like you say, the importance of how to integrate technology into the traditional approach of doing things from an analysis point, from a scouting point, and we want to take it further, especially with Coach Machine, and bring the sports science point. And also, remember in the lineup, we also have the African Champions League finalists. Both their analysts will be joining us in Kulam. And Kulam was won the league, I think, 9 times in Sundowns. And Tinashe as well, who's also been part of this under-20 national team. We have someone from Stellenbosch as well, coming, Brendan Forey, semi-finalist of the CAF Convert, to also share the way their model is Stellenbosch. So it means there is no secrets in football.
Yeah.
Very interesting. As we build up to that symposium at the end of July, from time to time we'll be looking at it. But as we wrap up, gents, just your final words, because there was a draw this past weekend for the Under-17 World Cup, expanded World Cup, 48 teams now.
Yeah.
It's annual. I mean, I was just hearing now that our Under-17 coach, the World Cup is not only playing one in November, but he already has to start with a new team that is going to play in the next year's World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. And there are already preparations in terms of the next phase of the team, because exactly like you say, some of the boys in the current team do not qualify, and then because it's annual, so it's an endless process. And it's very important for football, and this is part of FIFA's vision.
Arsene Wenger,
Yes, it's part of Arsene Wenger's vision, in which people will be attending the symposium. They're going to have it from the man who is the right-hand man of Arsene Wenger in Africa, who
technical development skill.
Exactly, who's going to be delivering deeper insight in terms of what is Arsene Wenger's strategy to try and close the gap, to create competitiveness, to create football to be competitive for everyone, and create and increase competitive in football globally. And then this is very, very important. So the Under-17 World Cup being played annually, it means boys between 15 and 16 can, by the time they get to 18, 19, they would have played 2 World Cups, they will have had international experience, and this will also help us as Africa to really try and increase our competitiveness at the World Cup stage. So it's a very important for us to always have a team in the World Cup every year.
Yeah.
What do you make of this group? Qatar, Italy, and Bolivia. Unfortunately, we had played against Colombia, so that gives us a little bit of insight there.
I mean, it's a World Cup and it's a tricky group, because Italy, they always have young, good players. Most of them playing in the one top league, but maybe the junior side. But it's gonna be a good. But South Africa, I mean, they have done so well. I mean, South African football is on the rise now, because I mean, you check from the 17, under 20, the Bayana, and the senior national team. basically, for them not to go to the World Cup is in their hands, So I just feel like, yes, a lot of good things coming to South African, as the national team and the league generally. And this group is a tricky group, but I see South Africa coming out of this group.
For sure, we'll come out. I support the boys. I support the coach. I've got great memories with Coach V. So I believe that our boys will come out of this group. And for me, this some of those boys are special to me because I know them when they were still kids, 11, 12. So really, I wish that they can come out of that group and achieve something special at the World Cup.
And I can tell you that when we come back next week, we'll be discussing the draw of the Under-20, FIFA Under-20 World Cup taking place in Chile later this year. In fact, that Under-20 comes before because it's in September and October. So I think that is our cue for this week. Well, I think just before, it's the big one on Sunday, so just before we close, I really want to get predictions. Oh my God. Champions League, the big one this weekend. Starting there from you, Snake. Sundowns is going to win that game 2-0.
Brace. Come on, skipper.
That's a big call, eh?
That's a big call, eh?
Free kick and the stunner.
Yo!
Listen.
No, I saw the game, I think.
The one similar to Nelson Mandela.
Not Nelson Mandela. Moroccans will remember the one in San Pedro.
For me, I see a score draw, 2-2.
2-2?
Yeah.
Sundowns wins it.
Sundowns win too. Yeah.
And it's possible. It's possible when you look at what happened there with Pirates and Pyramids.
Yeah.
But managing the game becomes important after that.
Because Sundowns have goals in them. In that striking role, I think there's goals there.
You've got runs, I don't know.
So?
Before I give my prediction, Coach, just play Tapalomarane.
Yeah.
Just play Tapalomarane in Egypt. Half the problems are done. 2-0. I'm going with the analyst. I'm sure you crunched the numbers.
So you're saying Pyramids is not going to score their own way?
No.
Tapelo and Morena is going to score behind that high line of theirs.
Okay.
He always arrests the occasion.
I go with Sundowns 2-1. 3-2 aggregate.
Yeah. Kawelo Masandawana, bring it home.
Yeah, they have to. They have to.
Yeah. Otherwise, as we always say, we say
Jumbo Africa.